This is 30-year-old Deobra Redden, who is facing charges for attempted battery in Nevada. Redden was arrested after he allegedly attacked a man with a baseball bat. He pleaded guilty and faced a possible sentence of 1 to 4 years in prison. At his sentencing, Redden had a calm and matter-of-fact exchange with Clark County District Judge Mary K. Holthus.
I would like to tell the courts everyone here, like, based on my criminal history, like, I feel that, like, I shouldn't be, like, sent to prison for a second time.
Have you looked at your criminal history? Have you looked at your criminal history?
I actually just, I looked at it.
I mean, you lived it, I suppose.
I just looked at it, yeah.
Judge Holthus then reminded Redden of his criminal history.
3 felonies, a gross, 9 misdemeanors, multiple DVs, battery on a protected person, robberies, attempt home invasion.
Redden, who struggled with mental health issues like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, tried to convince the judge that he deserved a second chance. But Judge Holthus was having none of it.
I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history.
This is when things got crazy. Eventually, deputies were able to restrain Redden. As alarms went off in the courtroom, people started to call for help.
Affirmative medical is requested. Judge's chambers.
Yeah, be advised. 515's got a big laceration to his head. Judge hit her head into the wall, and I got an inmate that's bleeding up here.
It was later found that Redden allegedly punched Judge Holthus and pulled out parts of her hair. One marshal had to be hospitalized and needed 25 stitches after suffering a forehead injury, as well as a dislocated shoulder. A few days later, Redden was seen in court again, heavily shackled and wearing a spit mask for the sentencing of his initial assault case.
Good morning. All right, this is on for the continuation of Mr. Redden's sentencing. When we were last here, arguments were concluded and the court had begun to pronounce sentence when an incident occurred, an incident initiated by Mr. Redden, preventing the court from completing sentencing. That is the sole purpose for today's hearing. Any other issues that may arise from the events that occurred last Wednesday will be handled at a future date by a different court. For purposes of the record, I want to make it clear that I am not changing or modifying the sentence I was in the process of imposing last week before I was interrupted by defendant's actions.
Additionally, he faced 13 new charges for the attack on Judge Holthus, including attempted murder, battery, and extortion by threat. If convicted, Redden could spend decades in prison. Take the example of Michael Gaines, who was in court for assaulting a police officer in Wichita, Kansas. Police said Gaines, who was HIV positive at the time, allegedly spat on an officer during a prison fight. Gaines was charged with battery of a law enforcement officer and produced in court, where things went off to a rocky start between him and the judge.
You do respect authority. You're not respecting my authority.
You're not respecting me, okay? No, respect goes both ways. You're just a woman with a robe on. You're a woman.
Do you really think it's appropriate to cuss here in court?
Do you think it's appropriate to sentence me under this racial program you got going here you call justice? Justice. Yeah, okay, justice.
Gaines claimed that he was being framed.
And you're gonna believe those lies. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't hawk up no saliva. You're gonna believe a lie because they wearing uniform.
The judge tried to take control, but Gaines was just getting started.
Wearing a uniform, right? Rogue deputy.
Look at me.
Just like Eagle. You ain't gotta scream at me. You gonna raise your voice at me?
Oh my God.
You raise your voice to me, I raise my voice to you. You just in a row.
However, he kept the worst for prosecutor Kevin O'Connor, who bore the brunt of his outburst.
I appreciate Mr. Gaines making my point for
you punk.
Very well received.
Maggot mother.
And I don't think I have to take insults from
I know. You. Use a.
He's a tough guy now.
Use a.
But I think.
Use a. You'll be a after after I get sentenced,
I
punk.
think Mr. Gaines has forfeited to me. He's put his.
I'm ready to go. I was ready to go. You punk.
Finally, the judge had enough and asked security to remove Gaines. However, he still had some choice words left for the courtroom.
Courtroom. Take out of the courtroom.
You's a maggot.
Yeah, you're a tough guy.
You's a maggot, punk. You should have died when you was a baby.
Yeah.
Maggot.
Anytime, Mr. Gaines.
Shut up, punk. You's a maggot. You should have died when you was a baby. Still born.
Eventually, Gaines was sentenced to 13 years in prison for his troubles. Now we head to Cleveland, Ohio, to the Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court for the sentencing of convicted serial killer Michael Madison. Madison's been convicted on 3 counts of aggravated murder for the killing and mutilation of 3 young women in Ohio as part of the hearing van Terry. The father of one of Madison's victims steps up to the podiums to make a victim impact statement. Mr. Terry's now just a few feet away from the man who so brutally took the life of his daughter, Sherelda.
Right now, I guess we're supposed to, in our hearts, forgive this clown who's touched our families, taken my child.
He's looking directly at Madison.
All right, whoever's in the red hat, you're excused. The red hat must leave.
All right then, Terry is released without charges a short time later. County Judge Nancy McDonald hands down Madison's sentence. Michael Madison is sentenced to death and will now live on Ohio's death row.